So I watched the Nostalgia Nomics video today. One of my favorite Pokemon business YouTubers. I don't agree with everything he says, but like what I do listen to him about is, you know what I mean? Don't follow the I'm going to wait crowd. Like be proactive. Buy, you got to buy stuff in order to be successful. You sit on the sidelines like nothing's going to happen. But he talked about, perfect order today. How a lot of people are saying, it's going to crash, go down to, under $200, this and that. And he's mentioning like, even though it's a trash set, packs are being sold. He's making comparisons, like look at Steam Siege, trash set, booster box, $1,200. I mean, heck, I looked up the ETB and it's actually going for more. Obviously, because 2016 XYR ETBs are a lot harder to find in that era because they didn't make a lot of them. As I mentioned in previous videos, booster boxes were considered the cream of the crop, the investment piece. So ETBs were primarily getting opened while booster boxes were being stored. So yeah, you look at Steam Siege, it's basically Gardevoir or bust. There's really not a lot here. It's literally one of these two Gardevoirs or bust. Maybe the full art, like $200 in a PSA 10. But I mean, you get where I'm going with that. You can just buy a raw for 20. It's a Steam Siege trash set. I mean, no surprise. Everyone's talked about that in videos I've watched. And then you look at Perfect Order, and I mentioned I think Shroud of Fable is actually better than Perfect Order. But I mean, you compare it to Steam Siege, and you know what I mean? You go back, like I mentioned, there's been like 3 or 4 Clefairies in the past year. Lois Clefairy Journey Together. We got another one in Ascended Heroes. Now we got another one in Perfect Order. At least you got a Clefable, you know what I mean? So it's kind of cool. I mentioned, a decent trainer card. I mean, I don't really think a lot of people care for the Zygarde, just not a popular Pokemon in general. Starmie, I mean, you compare this to the Starmie V and Astral Radiance. I mean, like this is just horrendous. Meowth, I mean, it's an SIR, but it literally just looks like a full art. And then I get it, like the gold Zygarde, the golds are all the rage right now in the Mega era. It's just they're just not physically appealing. I've seen a couple in person, so I mean, aside from that, so you do have more depth here at least. But the problem with what I had, and I disagreed with, like Perfect Order will reach a Steam Siege level one day, is that Steam Siege 2016, 10 years ago, just the volume that is being printed today, and they mention it. All these Pokemon YouTubers, Nostalgia Nomics also mentions it. Like the amount of product that's being printed, it's being stored away. People are hitting these Pokemon Center pre-orders just like me. What am I doing? I'm not opening the Pokemon Center ETB. I'm not opening my booster box. There's no point because it's going to eventually go up over time. But I think to reach the a Steam Siege level, just there's not a lot of this, and that's why it's valuable, even though it's a trash set. Versus Perfect Order now, I mean, while better than Steam Siege, is still a trash set, and there's just so much more of it. I've seen Pokemon YouTubers, DJ's Poke Center. He's got cases of these Perfect Order booster boxes, and he admits, like, this was probably one of my worst pickups because no one's buying it, and that's the whole point. Is no one's buying it. It's at $200. No one wants to pay $200 for it. That's just the plain truth. I mean, I watched Nostalgia Nomics pack rips. No one's really opening Perfect Order because it's just trash. And then he's mentioning, Temple Forces and all these other, weak sets in the Scarlet Violet era. They're all reaching $300. It's because we're in a bull market right now. It's the only reason that they're just hitting these numbers. You know what I mean? Like a few years ago, that wouldn't have been happening. And eventually there's going to be a time where these prices, no one's going to want to pay $300 for Temporal Forces booster box. It's just getting to that point. No one wants to pay $600 for a 151 ETB. Like we've been reaching these points now. The booster bundle for 151, no one's going to pay $200 for that, especially not the Pokemon YouTuber investors. You know what I mean? And the more the newer hobbyists reach and learn about these Pokemon investor YouTubers, they're gonna realize, yeah, you know what? Probably not time to pay $200 for a bundle of 151, because that's just, I mean, common sense tells you that that's just a ridiculous price point for a booster bundle. That's why a lot of them are taking profits and selling, and they're not selling everything, but just to kind of summarize, just I don't see Perfect Order in 10 years from now reaching a Steam Siege level price point, just because there's just so much more of this product out there and being stored away. And that's the whole point, is like the box becomes the collection, not the contents inside. And Steam Siege, there's just not a lot of these boxes. There's 5 listings. Perfect Order in 10 years from now, we'll probably still have hundreds of listings out there just because no one wants to open it. And that's something that obviously we're going to have to wait and see it comes to fruition. That's just my subjective opinion, but it just also seems like common sense. Is just every time I get a pre-order now, I've been getting every pre-order since Destined Rivals. I get the pre-order and I just store it away. Get the pre-order, store it away. And that's what a lot of people are also doing right now, because they know if you do that, it'll make money over time. But for Perfect Order, like, I honestly just am debating maybe just bringing it to a show and see if I could get like 200 bucks for it. And I highly doubt anyone's going to want to pay for that. And I just guarantee, maybe not guarantee, but I have a strong conviction that like I'm just going to sit on this booster box and the Pokemon Center ETBs for a while. I think the Pokemon Center ETBs will be good, and I think they'll actually outperform the booster box. I already made a video about how I think Pokemon Center ETBs can top booster boxes as the upper tier investment in the future. Um, but the booster box, I feel like in 5 years from now, I'm going to have that thing. And it's just going to be collecting dust and still going to be 200, $250. And that's just my opinion. I just don't think it'll ever reach like a $1,200 price point, like a Steam Siege, like just XYR, just not as much was printed as there is today. That's why there's just so much more of this product, of these modern sets in circulation. And there's always going to be, because there's just more investors, more people know if you hold this, it'll go up. But eventually there's going to be a point where there's just too much that's going to be saturated in the market. It's going to take a longer period of time for it to reach higher price points. Not every set, you know what I mean? You got Destined Rivals hitting record highs in a short period of time because it's a good set. So, I mean, I'm just comparing trash set to trash set from different eras. And I just don't see a lot of people thinking Perfect Order will be a good, the box is the collection piece now. It's not going to be desirable. Just my thoughts. Like I said, love Nostalgia Nomics. I listen to a lot of his stuff. I don't agree with everything, and that's okay. And it's okay if you have a disagreement with what someone you follow and learn from. It's okay to disagree with them. But at the same time, you know what I mean? They have good points. And like I said, don't wait on the sidelines. Buy the product if you have a conviction towards it. So yeah, that's all I wanted to add for this video. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Perfect Order could reach a Steam Siege level at some point, price point? I don't know. Let me know what you think. And I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you in the next one.